Hello, hello. Are we ready to learn about limits again? Because last time I need to redo these. I need to redeem myself. I did not do very well on the little question and answer. Today I'm also eating toast with almond butter and honey. I like almond butter. I'm allergic to peanuts, so I can't eat peanut butter. Ugh, excuse me. And then honey adds a little bit of sweetness. So I'm just gonna review where we left off just a little bit, and then I'm gonna continue. Hopefully So I have practiced this. I felt so embarrassed that I got like 50%. So I will practice this part. I practiced this by myself, and I will do it again to get a better understanding. So we are using tables to approximate limits and their values. So they give us an example, and they say that like if you want to find the limit of 2, but 2 is undefined, how do you find the limit of 2? So they made a table with these values, with these increments. Hello, I'm doing well. How are you? Just learning about calculus. We have this table, and then we have 2. We have to find where like this value approaches. Go down. Like it says, in this table we've created, we have strong evidence that the limit is 0.25. But this may not be like the actual value of x equals 2. If you look at the table, you pick a table where it is best for approximating the limit, and that is when it has like 2 in the middle and it slowly approaches 2. This is like the units, or the, what do you call it, like the spaces in between? You have a master's degree in subject of math. Alright, well this will be easy for you. I learned this a while ago, but I don't remember because I haven't used it. Wait, then you're probably better at like teaching math than this website. That's interesting. Wow, my chat's so smart. So I would pick this one. Yeah, it does get closer to 2 with 2. And this one only approaches 2 from the right side. Common mistakes is assuming the function value is the limit value, not approaching from both sides. But yeah, picking constant increments. So you don't want to pick constant increments, and not getting like really close to the value. So the function g is defined over the real numbers, and this table gives select values of g. So what is the limit as x approaches 5? So we kind of ignore the actual value of x equals 5 for the limit. You're a teacher of math. Dang, that's cool. You know, I've always considered becoming a math teacher, but I just don't think it's for me. It's not for me. Maybe when I'm like 70 years old or something. 70,000 years old, you know? What is the reasonable estimate? So it approaches 3.68 from both sides. This increases, right? Yeah, it increases, and then this also increases. I'm gonna say 4, I think. Unless I'm wrong. I'm wrong! Oh, it doesn't exist. Is it not? Okay, I'm just gonna click. But all 3 values are the same? Okay, that's interesting. My first love is maths. I think my first love is music. My second love was chemistry. My third love is, I think, maths. I actually like this. I got this one wrong. I guess I'm supposed to find the value in between. So this is just like a straight line, and then it jumps. I get it. Okay, I think I know. Common mistakes. Well, let's relearn this. I got this right the first time. I'm kinda mad. Oh well. Confusing the limit value with the function value. Remember that the limit of a function at a certain point isn't necessarily equal to the function value. Taking a limit value is always an integer. Some limits are nice and have integer values or nice fraction values. For example, the limit in our first example here is 0.25. Some limits are nice, like the limit in problem 2, somewhere around 3.68. A student created a table to help them reason about limit as x approaches 7. Based on the table, what can you reasonably conclude about the limit? Let's see. This decreases. So it is constantly decreasing. Approaches. This? No, it's not. It's undefined. So, is it a reasonable estimate? So this is wrong. I feel like it's this one? Yeah, okay. Is a reasonable estimate. So it is not definitely approaches this because you don't exactly know. It's an approximation. Exactly, okay. There's no evidence that of g of x approaching positive or negative infinity as x approaches 7. The limit doesn't exist because the function is undefined. So the limit and the function are actually different from each other. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit x approaches 5 and f of x? So this increases and it continues to increase. So I feel like this. Yes, because the function is increasing everywhere other than the actual x equals to 5 value. Yeah, okay, we'll go back to the next section. To the practice. Given the function g and asked to estimate the limit as x approaches -1 g of x, 3 students created a table. It's so different from our country? Really? So, like, is calculus different over there too? Because here we consider this like calculus. There's even like a college. I'm using their EP testing college thing. Yeah, this is how we learned calculus over here. Each table is accurate, but which one is best for approximating the limit? So you find one that has -1. Oh, you don't use limits like this. Interesting. It's always interesting to like learn about how other countries learn certain things. I really hate how my country like teaches foreign language. I don't know how to speak a foreign language. It's really bad. I wish we would learn about foreign languages younger, because by the time like foreign language is actually required for us, it's harder to learn another language. So this approaches -1 from both sides. feel like the increments of this one is better than these two, and this only approaches it from one side as well. Alright, well, I'm relearning it myself, so hopefully I approach this in a perspective of someone who hasn't really had, or hasn't really learned this a lot. So the function of f is defined over the real numbers. This table gives several values of f. Is the table appropriate for approximating x approaches -3? If not, why? So the increments seem to be nice. The only thing is that -3 is on this side, so it only approaches it from one side. Okay. Math is really fun though. I actually genuinely enjoyed calculus, even though it was really difficult. I did not like trigonometry. Geometry was okay. Algebra, I actually failed in algebra class before, so I had to retake it. But it's fine. I got to where I am now. The table isn't appropriate, as x is only approached from one direction, so this is the correct thing. Increments are constant. Increments in this one are fine, it just approaches it from one direction, because a -3 would be right here. The thing is, I was put in advanced math in algebra, and I was put in it way too early. I was put in advanced math 2 grades above what is normally done in my country. I know different countries have different paces. I can't remember the sine and cosine formulas, but I still love it. Honestly, same. I don't remember them at all either. Given the function f and asked to estimate the limit of x as x approaches -7, 3 students created tables. Which table is accurate? But which one is the best for approximating the limit? Each table is accurate. Okay, I was wondering, I read that wrong. So for -7, we find one that's in between. So this one, -7 should be here, so it only approaches it from one side. -7 is here, so that's good so far. And -7 is over here, so it also approaches it only on one side. I would say this one, and the increments of this one are pretty good. We'll check. Yeah! The function h is defined over the real numbers. This table gives several values of h. Is the table appropriate for approximating limit of x as it approaches 6? Limit of h of x as x approaches 6. If not, why? So -6 is here. The only thing is that I feel the increments are constant. Yeah, because they're all whole integers. So I think that the answer is C. Yeah, okay. The table is not appropriate. As x approaches 6 from the left and right. It does approach from both directions because it's right here. The only thing is that the increments are constant. Yay! Alright, I'm gonna redeem myself for this one, the next exercise, because last time I did it incorrectly. Actually, I'm gonna move my chat just a little bit. Not block there. Alright. Are you fluking? I don't know. Maybe. I messed this one up. But I guess I did fumble. I fumbled. I had a blunder. The function f is defined over the real numbers except for x equals 0. This table gives select values of f. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of f of x as x approaches 0? So we know that the actual value is undefined, but that's okay because if you look here, it seems like the values are increasing and then it decreases. So I would assume that the value is this one, I think. So it increases, reaches that value, and then it decreases. Hopefully. Okay, I got this one right. The limit does exist. There's no evidence of the function jumping around or approaching positive or negative infinity. From the table values, it appears that f is increasing on the left and decreasing to the right, so you would expect the limit value to be slightly greater than 2.88. This question? I just didn't understand it the first time I did it. So my last stream, I just got 2 questions incorrectly. That's how I fumbled this exercise. But I feel like I understand it more now. You know? The function f is defined over the real numbers. This table gives a few values of f. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of f of x as x approaches 5? So 5 should be right here. It decreases. Can I speak? It decreases because it gets more negative as x increases. So I want to say that it is -5. It fits in between both of these values. Yeah. Oh, this one has no explanation. Interesting. The function g is defined over the real numbers. This table gives a few values of g. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of g of x as x approaches 5? So 5 should be in between these numbers. Oh, it jumps. So it goes negative. Or it decreases and then it jumps to 6. Let's say the limit does not exist just because of how much it jumps. Alright, got that one correct. The function f is defined over the real numbers. This table gives select values of f. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of f of x as x approaches 6? This one, it decreases and then it increases again. Assuming it's in between these values somehow. Okay, this one's harder. Let's see. I think decreases then increases. These are too far away. Please be this one. Okay, I got it correct. Not so fast. Although f of x is of f of 6 equals 0.2, that doesn't mean the limit value has the same value. From the table values, it appears that f is decreasing on the left of x equals 6 and increasing on the right. So we would expect limit f of x as x approaches 6 to be slightly less than 4.8. Yeah. Okay, this is just too far, and since they're like close, that's how I assumed that the limit exists. Yeah. Right, next part. So for these videos that Khan Academy has, I actually I don't play the audio because I don't want to get copyrighted and stuff, you know. So I just play the subtitles and then try to understand from that, and then I will explain as it goes. Hopefully, I explain good enough. No, don't ask me any more personal questions, please. I am 2,000 years old, and that is it. Please respect my privacy. The function f is defined over the real numbers. This table gives select values of f. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of f of x as x approaches -1? Oh, no, not -1. 1 from the left side. So this little symbol means, like, it indicates that x approaches 1 from the left side. Gonna read the subtitles. See if we can figure out on our own. Okay, let's pause the video then. As approaches from the left side. So from the left side, it would be 2.5, 2.1, 2.02, and then we have the value of 1. So this value decreases. I'm gonna say like 2 or something, maybe? I feel like 2 is a relatively reasonable estimate. Yes. Not -1. That's exactly what happened to me. I saw it and was like, -1. It's not, it's 1 approaching from the left. We want the limit as x 1 from the left. It is on the table. Yeah, so that side approaches from the left side. What does f of x approach? It's closer and closer to 1. Key realization here. Thinking about general limits just from one direction. Okay, if they only ask for f, confuses, and oftentimes the limit is approaching a different value. It's approaching 2. multiple choice questions, you pick the one that is most reasonably close to that one. 1. Anything that's like close to 2, I think that's what this person is saying. Another question. Let's pause this and try to figure it out ourselves first. The function of f is defined over the real numbers. This table gives select values of f. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of f of x as x approaches -2 from the left? So as it approaches -2 from this side, we have -20, -10, -500. Jeez, that's like a huge jump. And then we ignore this because it's from the left. I don't know, I would say like -700 or something. Kind of too hard to tell. Yeah, use those values. Goes to -5, so it would be reasonable. Okay, infinite. Okay, that's what I thought maybe. Because it just increased so much. It was unbounded. Okay, that's a new word. Say the limit doesn't exist? So from the right side, the limit would be -4 because of this way. Interesting. Okay, next exercise. Honestly, I'm not. Are you a proper backbencher? I don't even know what that means. Yeah, I don't really know what that means. I'm sorry. I can't answer. The function f of x is defined over the real number. This table gives select values of f. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of f of x as x approaches -2 to -1? A topper? I don't know what topper means. I don't understand. What is a reasonable estimate? Let's see. As -2 approaches from the left side. Oh wait, this is the one we just did. This is the one we just did. It's unbounded because it increases a lot. It goes from -20 to -100 to -50 or 500. So we don't actually look at the actual value, just how it approaches -2 from the left. Comes first in his or her university. Oh no, I'm dumb. I did not know that was what that meant. So then I guess I did not come first. That's something I've never heard of. I never heard that term before. But I'm not like in the very back either. I'm kind of just in the middle, you know, the average. Just your average person. I guess if you're talking about school, I'm just like average student. The first function f is definitely over the real numbers. This table gives select values of f. What is a reasonable estimate for limit of f of x as x approaches -4 from the right side? So from the right, it would be from here, and we can see that it decreases to like around 5. So I'd say 6 is reasonable, considering it comes from the right, and that this is like almost 6, and it increases to this value. Let's check. Yeah! The value of limit of the function at a particular x value is not necessarily the same as the value of the limits. What f value does the function appear to approach from the right? So it is 6. Hey, I'm not a fluke. I'm average. Come on. Fluke is like if you're last. That's kind of mean. Listen, I'm still studying, alright? I'm trying to be better. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of f of x as x approaches 8 from the left side? From the negative, or the lower, the less than 8 side. So it will approach from this side. Whoa, it increases a lot, so I would say it's unbounded because it goes from 99 to 425 and 750. So unbounded. And also, okay, like they said, you shouldn't look at them from the right side, but it also like just jumps. So I would say unbounded. Yeah. Guessing. I actually like understand. What do you mean? I'm not just educated guesses, alright? I have an idea. I'm trying to explain this as best as I can. So it approaches 6 from, we try to find the limit of this as x approaches 6 from the negative side. Because the way I thought like fluke meant like you failed. That's what fluke means, I guess, or how we use it. I haven't learned any of these like topper backbencher fluke terms. I'm doing educated guesses. This is a limit. It's supposed to be an approximation, right? So I have to make like a thoughtful guess to approximate the values. Words from India. Yeah, that's why I remember that you said last stream that you were from India. It's an interesting, I guess, they're not really slangs, I guess interesting terms. So it keeps decreasing and it approaches -6. Let's say -6, because even though the actual value of 6 is undefined, it goes from -5 to -5.99 and -5.9999. I learn something every day from my chat. Well, it's good to know. Let's see. Yay! We got 4 out of 4. Hey, we have a quiz next. See if I can do the quiz. 6 questions. Am I ready for the quiz? Let's go. So for this, the function h is defined for all real numbers except for x is equal to 4. I'm not a rich girl. That's all I have to say. I'm definitely not a rich girl. I can't even, like, leave my city. X equals 4, so it approaches it. So if you look at both sides, so if it approaches left side, it will go to like infinity, and it approaches right, or negative infinity, and it approaches from the right side, it approaches positive infinity, so I would say that the limit does not exist. Okay. 1 correct. The function g is defined over the real numbers. This table gives a few values of g. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of g of x as x approaches 1? So 1 is here. It goes from 9.12 to 9.75, and so this increases, and then this jumps to 7, and then it also increases in this direction. The limit, I would say, does not exist. Yeah. You want to see me? Are there like, if I ever become like a very big VTuber and there are like conventions, and then maybe I can have like a own panel. I've always, the like indie VTubers, like, you know, like Iron Mouse and those other types of VTubers from corporations, they go to different places, I would say. They go to different countries and have panels, and they have like concerts there. That would be fun for me to do one day, but I'm nowhere near that place like that. You have to pretty much be a huge indie VTuber, or you have to join like a corporation. That would be interesting. Which limit expressions agree with the graph? Choose all answers that apply. So you find -1 and it approaches it from the left. -1's right here, and if we approach it from the left, this is incorrect because it should be 2. We go to 4, we see it approaching from both sides. It is not 5 because it like jumps. So this is also not correct. And g of x, as it approaches 6 from both sides, should be 4, because it approaches 6 from the left and the right. So it should be none of the above. Yeah! Given the function g and asked to estimate the limit of g of x as x approaches 0, 3 students created tables. Each table is accurate. Which one is best for approximating the limit? Let's see. So we find 0. So right here, and this one is out, because 0 is not even, like, in the table. This one has constant increments. And this one. I'll say this one is correct, because it's got smaller increments, and it approaches 0, which is right here. Or should be right here. This one isn't like a whole increment integer, is what I mean to say when I say, like, constant increments of why B is not the correct answer. I like don't really have social media. I technically have a Twitter. I never use it. I just use it to follow other VTubers because I'm a huge VTuber fan myself. But even then, I don't really post much. Do you have are you like a VTuber fan? Do you have any YouTubers other than me that you like watching? The function h is defined for all real numbers. What is a reasonable estimate for limit of h of x as x approaches 0? So as it approaches this, it also jumps though. It approaches from the left side to 5 and approaches from the right side to -5. And it's not asking from each side, so the limit does not exist. Oh, interesting. Oh, I meant like VTuber, like a virtual tuber. Like that's why I have my little person here, they call it a model. Hi. I'm the model, like, you know, a VTuber. I can spell it. VTuber. Are you like are you new to like the VTubing thing? Oh yes, yes. It's a VTuber from India. Interesting. I'm gonna get a sip of water. The function h is defined over the real numbers. This table gives select values of h. What is a reasonable estimate for the limit of h of x as x approaches -5 from the left side? We look at this part, because it's from the left side, and we can see that it decreases approaching 6. So honestly, I would say that 6 is a reasonable estimate. Yeah! You don't know much about VTubers? I love VTubers. They're all so talented and great. Maybe you should try looking for more VTubers. Because all of us use this avatar, if you will, this my little character. We often play a character, we become the character, if you will. And it's so fun, and they're all so talented. Alright, next lesson. Oh boy, this is a long lesson. Limit properties. Read the subtitles. But you are seeing me. This is me. I am the character, you know? So like a lot of the other VTubers with the letter V, not YouTubers, VTubers, will go to conventions. Because if we just feel more comfortable like having a model, you know, we feel that our content can be better, and this is how we want to present ourselves. That's one of the reasons why I started VTubing, because, well, first of all, I saw a bunch of people doing like such amazing things, like pushing the boundaries of like technology at the same time, and it's just so cool. Let's say g approaches is equal to m. You look at the graphs, two arbitrary functions. These are properties, not proofs. Oh, okay. So you can kind of like split the two functions. The sum rule or sum property of limits. Is there a like traction property? Oh, okay. We're getting into that. Shouldn't have jumped the gun. The difference property of limits. Interesting. Is it a product? The product property of limits, the multiplication property of limits. Right, so if this is it is intuitive. If you have addition, then you can get this and that. You can like split up the functions almost in a way, and then you get two separate ones. And same thing for the subtraction or the difference, and I assume same thing for the product. Well, like division. Okay, so if there is a constant, you can just put that there and you get the same thing. And division, okay? Same thing with division. Yeah. Interesting. So you can divide the two function that like limits. This identity only works when m is not 0, because it would be undefined. Alright. Exponent. There's an exponent property. G of x to the g of x power. Oh. They're both integers. the R of S. You naturally want if the graphs. Okay, it is intuitive, a little bit. For some people, maybe not so much, though. Want to see me? All I have to say is I don't look like how I sound. I don't. Like, if you expect me to look a certain way, I don't look like that. But also, yeah, I'm just gonna stay like this because this is how VTubers are, and this is how I'm most comfortable in. But I will always be making content pretty much for a long time, so yeah. Fine. Oh, I forgot to turn on subtitles. No wonder I was like, why do I not understand what's happening? Find the limit of f of x as x approaches 0. This one, -1, 1. Is that just -1? Zero of h of x. Let's think about what these are. Let's first think about f of x as x approaches 0. Approach from the left. Looks like it's equal to 1, like I said, so from both sides it approaches 1 when x is equal, or x approaches 0 from both sides. Continuous function, yeah, so it's 1, and you just like multiply the two, so you get -1. Yeah! Whoa, that's a lot of questions. With continuous functions and as it approaches 0. So, I'm gonna pause and try it myself first. So h of x as it approaches 0 is 4. So 4 over 0. So it's undefined though, then it doesn't work. It's so easy. Yeah, I hope it is. You're a teacher, right? I mean, I guess it is different though from your country. Function's continuous. Before, yeah, and that one is 0 though, so just like does not exist, undefined. Not sure. What term do they call this? Oh, the limit does not exist. Okay, that's what they call it. Last topic I didn't understand much, but this one is easy. I also think this topic is a little bit easier for me to like conceptualize because it's just like it's closer to, I'd say, basic math, like plain math. While looking at the tables, it's a bit more like I have to visualize the graph in my head. But I think so. You just find the limit, and then you just use like properties of math to get the value. So we'll use piecewise functions. Oh, interesting. We'll do it on piecewise functions. Can't find the limit. Yeah, so that one doesn't exist. So if they both don't exist, then what happens? Oh, so they're breaking it up. So they're looking at it from the left side. That's where the -2 from the left. That would be 1 and 3. From the right, you have 3. You have 1. Both 4? Oh, you wouldn't say it does not exist. It's equal to 4. Okay, that's interesting. I did not like expect that. So if the individual limits themselves don't exist, you can like break it up and look at it from the right and left side, and then if they equal the same thing, you can say that that limit equals that. That's interesting. It's fine. Go ahead and sleep. Like, make sure you get some sleep. I'm not alone. You don't have to like stay. Go sleep. Approaches 2. Zero. Get 2 as it approaches 1 from the left side. -1, they're different. Why? It's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Take care of yourself first. Plus, I don't feel alone. I always just have fun streaming anyways, because it's just like a thing that I do for fun, and it's fun all the time. I said fun like 3 times in that last second. Yeah, make sure to get enough sleep too, because sleep like degrades your brain if you don't get enough. Also, if you have more time, I feel okay, not now, because you should go to sleep now, but you should look at VTubers and try to learn about our community. If you want to, of course. I'm not gonna make you do. I have activities to do. I don't need to talk to people all the time. Don't worry about it. Oh, let's move this a little bit. There we go. So it does not exist if they're different. Okay, interesting. On the left, 1, 0, so that equals 0. 1, 0, so is the limit 0? Those two examples. This is not the case. Okay, interesting. Exercise. You're just here to listen to me. Okay. But like, don't lose sleep over it though. Go to bed. It's fine. I don't need to talk to anyone in chat. Plus, I have a lot of stuff to learn as I continue to stream. Get enough rest. It's not good for you. Yeah, if you don't worry about like being the only viewer. I've streamed to no one for many months. I'm not mean. What do you mean I'm mean? Go to bed. You know what? Just because you said that, you better go to bed now. Go sleep. Plus, also, I know you're not interested in any other VTubers, but other VTubers have nice voices too. So, just saying, if you find one. But just because you called me mean, go to bed. Go. So we're going to look at this property of limit h of x plus g of x. So as x approaches -3 here, that's 3. So h of x is 3. And then 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Get 5. Hey, don't get a little too parasocial on me. Have you heard of parasocial relationship thing? Like how it can be like kind of dangerous? Here's the thing. I think you're in love with the idea of me, but you know what? It means your voice. I know. We'll go to bed. Yeah. Like, don't get too parasocial on me, you know? There's still things you have to do. There's things outside of my stream and outside of what I make. And there's people, honestly, I think you can find someone with a similar voice to me. There are billions of people out here, so. Functions f and g are graphed. Okay, so we find a limit of f of x as x approaches 1. So they're different. Okay, so we do it individually. So we look at it from the left side, which is 3. Maybe I should like write this down. I have scratch paper. We have it from we'll look at it from the 1. It's 1, right? I think. Yes, it is 1. Wrong. From the left. So f. Oh, that's a bad f. F of x. The left side is 3. And then you do the same thing, but for g of x. One. And then you add those, so it's 4. And then you do the same thing for the right side. G of x. So that would be 1. F of x is 1. And g of x would be 3. Because it approaches from that side. So they're both equal to 4, which means, let me hide this for a second. The limit's 4. Yeah. Alright, you're sounding a little too parasocial for my personal boundaries. Here's the thing. Have you heard of like parasocial things and why it can be like bad? Even if you love my voice, that's fine. But please don't like get too attached or anything. Or like please don't like please respect my privacy and stuff. Yeah, just go to bed though. Why are you still chatting? Should I time you out? I might time you out. Go to bed. Go to bed. You should search it up. So it's like, have you heard of a YouTuber called Ludwig? Yeah, parasocials, like, don't get too parasocial, you know? Is when you, like, well, you should search up parasocial things. You should go to Google, like, search it up, and then you'll see what it means. When you get, like, too attached, and it kind of is bad for both the content creator and the person who is chatting. But anyways, let's do this question. The limit of x approaches 0. So g of x as it approaches 0 is 3. So 3 times -2 is -6. Because as g of x approaches 0, it's 3. You get -6. I mean, it's true though. You can, like, people can get too attached and it becomes unhealthy. And then people put, like, too much. It's the whole mess. Like, I suggest, of course, learning about it in your own time. And if you want a different, like, content creator to listen to, here's the thing. There are many other content creators like me. They have similar voices. They probably do similar things. There's, like, so many people out there. And maybe you can find someone who is more suited for you. The thing is, parasocial relationships can genuinely be. That's the thing. You don't know me. I'm an online person. You don't actually love me. Like, I don't mean this in, like, you have to prove it. I mean, like, you don't know me, so please, like, don't say that I love you and things like that, because it's. I mean, you can like my voice and stuff, but, you know, don't say that I love you, because it's just like a lot. And it's not healthy for both me and you. Like, I can't be someone's friend, if that makes sense. I literally cannot be someone's friend. I'm just a stranger and you're a stranger too. Respectfully, like, realistically, like, think about it. And I believe that it's important to set a boundary, or, like, it's only about your voice, alright? That's fine though. Just, you know, be aware. That being said, okay, you haven't slept. I'm actually timing you out. You have to go sleep. I'm actually gonna time you out. Go sleep. I'm putting you in timeout. Plus, there are 2 people here. Find the limit of x equals to 0 to g 2 times g of x. 0. So, let's see. times 2g of x. So as it approaches 0, it's got two sides. So we break it up and we look at... Wait, does that work like that? Because the limit does not exist. You know, I'm just gonna try this. Okay, that's correct. Yay! My thing froze. Okay, it froze. Wait, I'm doing it again. It froze. Okay, there we go. Back in business. See, the functions h and f are graphed. We find the limits as it approaches -1 from both sides. So here, that's 2 for h of x. This equals 2, and then this side equals 4, so that should be 8. Yeah! Next question. Graphs g and f are graphed. Find limit x goes to -3, or as x, can I speak? Find limit as g times f of x approaches -3. And they are separate, so let's do it from the left side. So g of x approaches 1 from the left side, and f of x approaches 0. So that's 0. And then from the right, it approaches -1, and f of x approaches 0. So the limit is 0. Functions f and h are graphed, so the limit of x approaches 0. F of x times h of x. So let's see. Approaches 0, so it's 1 for f of x times... Oh, there's 2 of them. Okay, so we have to do it from the left and right. So this is still 1, and this from the left side is 3. So that's 3. This is 1 times 0, so they're different because it's 3 from the left side and 0 from the right side, so the limit does not exist. Functions h and g are graphed. So the limit of x as it approaches 0 is h of x. That's 4 over 0. So it's undefined, so the limit does not exist, because 4 over 0 is undefined. Yeah! Yay! The confetti worked this time! Woo! Theorem. Interesting. So you have a function within a function. So, some examples. Here I have two functions that are graphically represented right over here. Interesting. So that's f and g. Does this theorem apply? We need to find the limit of x, I assume. Yeah. Which is 3. That's just 3. That's 3. Equals f of limit equal to the -1. So this means you can. Wait, I'm confused. I'm gonna watch end part, just the last part again. Oh, f of x, which is 3. -1. Alright. Say that it's -1. Oh, okay, I understand now. So you take that value, find the limit, then you put that into the f of x, and then you find the limit of that. Okay, I understand. I get it now. The second condition, 0, 2. So you can't use that property because it doesn't exist, or because f of x is not continuous. Like a different way to look at it? So is it still 2 because it's approaching 2, or what? No. Wait, I did it wrong. It's approaching 0. It equals 0 because of this. Interesting. It's negative 2 if approach from the left, and that's 0 from the right. That does not exist. Can't apply a theorem. Just because you can't apply a theorem doesn't mean the limit doesn't exist. I kind of want to see the first example again. I think I need to look at it again. Option 2 from above here. Go back a little bit. Because you can't apply the theorem. The limit does not exist. Example. Our function is approaching 0. Two. So you still just look at the limits. Okay. Even if it's not continuous. Alright, for this one, since the limit does not exist there, how do I look at this then? Do I go like f of x? Or f of x as it approaches 2? So, as this approaches 2, it's 0. Yes, that part doesn't exist. Yes, we have not met that condition. Can't apply a theorem. Hello? Doing a similar analysis. Welcome, welcome. How have you been? I'm gonna like do this exercise and I think I'm gonna end the stream there. Of composite functions. Here we want to figure out what the limit is. I'm doing okay. I'm a bit tired, not gonna lie, but I'm doing fine. I have to like do stuff with my parents afterwards. So I'm excited to go out with them too. How about you, doing anything exciting? From the left. Want to realize well, they don't exist on both ends. Of x does not exist. Oh, you're roller skating. That sounds fun. That sounds so exciting. I like figure skating. I've never roller skated before, but I'm like down to try it one time. Have fun. So do you break it up from the left and right? H approaches -1 from the right side. It's 2? Or -2, sorry. It translates? I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly true. G of x, you approach like 3? Oh, maybe? No? Okay. I'm slowly understanding this. Three, okay. I'm getting it. You do that for the right side, which means it would be -3. So -3 of g of x would be 3 as well. Have faith in my roller skating abilities. I don't know. I'll just have to try it. Limit that one. -3 from the right. That's 3. So does that mean that this limit is 3? Right. One more video, one more question. And then, unfortunately, I gotta go. Graph of g of x. On the right, I have a graph of h of x. Same type of concept, I assume. Oh no, this one is continuous. I'm not done yet, though. I have one more exercise. Hopefully, I get 100%. Have you learned this before? You learned calculus before? I learned it once, but I'm trying to like relearn it. Honestly, I forgot all of this. G. It's 2. 2 here, and it jumps. That part is not continuous. In terms of both the left-handed and right-handed limits. First, let's think about what the limit is. As x approaches 1 from the left-hand side. Why are you still awake? Go to bed! I timed you out so that you could sleep! See, we are approaching 2 from the left. G is approaching -2. At least this left-handed limit. Let's do the right-handed limit. Same thing, so you get the right, you get 2, and then you approach that from the right. Really, this case approaches 2. It does not exist. Okay. On G, because of both situations, we're approaching -2. It's gonna be our limit. But I don't understand. You approach it from below on this side too? You don't like go from the right? Hand of G of X. Same exercise where it approaches. So I understand that. It goes to 2. Putting into G, approaching 2 from below. So do you approach it from both this side? I guess you do. Okay, oops. Right, last exercise. You forgot everything about limits. Me too. Go to bed. If you're still here, I see you still here. Go sleep. See, I have someone else to talk to me. One of my mods came. And please learn about parasocial relationships. Or parasocial stuff. Search it up. Find the limit of G of f of x. So as x approaches 3, oh, I have to find it of f of x first. So this one should be -1, and then you go to -1 g of x, and it's like different. So now I have to do what they did, which was like split it up almost. And does that mean it's 3? Like, I kind of don't understand that concept too well. Like, I would assume that it does not exist. Okay, I'm just gonna go with that. We're gonna try it again. So h of x is 0. There are 2 sides, so we approach it from the left, so that's 1. And then we approach f of x, where it is 1, so that would be like Am I doing this right? 3 point something, or like 2 point something. I don't think it's right. Okay, and then you approach it from the right, which is 5. Go 5? Is it also does not exist? Okay. That why it was so kind of weird to me. So x approaches -2. -2 is right here, so it's 1. Then we go to f of x is equal, or approaches 1, so that's 1 as well. Yeah, this one's like kind of confusing. But I got that one right. So the one that like I got wrong, I honestly don't really understand, because I was trying to like watch the video. I watched it like twice, and I don't really get it. I feel like it's probably because it jumps, but at the same time, the person in the Khan Academy video was like, is it Sal? I think it's Sal. Sal was like, it's short-sighted to like assume that it's only does not exist. Functions h and g are graphed. So we go as x approaches -2. So here, so that would be 0. And then h approaches 0, which is jumping. It's a piecewise function, so try it from... Does that also does not exist? Why is there a single point graph? Like here, because that's so the actual value of g of x as when x equals 2 is 3, but that is not like the actual limit of it. Yeah. Oh, I think it does not exist. Alright. Well, I still got it right. Yay! Second Khan Academy has been successful. How much more stuff? Well, I mean, I didn't do too good. I'll practice this on my own. Hopefully I get a better understanding, and I will, like, explain it. Can I go back to my progress? We're not even done with limits. I want to get to derivatives. This is how much I have left of limits. I wanted to, like, finish up to quiz 2, but I don't think that's happening. So we'll do it again next time. But thank you for coming. Thank you for chatting. I appreciate everyone who shows up. I had a lot of fun time relearning calculus. Okay, I'm gonna go now because I gotta do stuff with my parents today. As always. Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day.